If you would rather fall apart alone than ask someone to stay, this is not strength. This is the part of you that learned needing people makes them disappear. You may be exhausted, overwhelmed, one small problem away from falling apart. But the second help becomes available. Something inside you pulls back. You smile too fast. You say, "I'm okay." You make your voice lighter. And later, when nobody checks again, a quiet part of you feels hurt. Not because they failed you on purpose, but because you needed them to notice the pain you worked so hard to hide. That is the invisible weight loop. You hide your need so people will not reject it. Then people miss your need, so you feel rejected anyway. The loop does not begin when people leave. It begins when you start leaving yourself first. And if you have lived in that loop for years, asking for help can feel less like receiving care and more like stepping into danger. But the real question is not, why can't you ask? The real question is, when did needing someone feel unsafe? Maybe you learned it early. Maybe you were the child who did not make things harder, the one who stayed quiet when adults were tired, the one who figured it out because no one had space. Maybe you learned to check someone else's mood before you trusted your own need. You were praised for being mature, but nobody asked why you had to become mature so young. So you became useful, easy, low maintenance, and slowly, your needs became something you managed in private. You cried quietly. You solved things alone. You learned to read the room before asking for anything. And if someone seemed stressed, annoyed, or distant, you swallowed the request before it reached your mouth. That habit may have protected you once. But this is where the protection starts becoming a prison. You do not just stop asking for help. You start feeling guilty for even wanting it. A simple favor feels like too much. A text that says, "Can you talk?" feels dramatic. A small need feels like proof that you are difficult. So you edit yourself? You type, "I'm not doing great," then delete it. You write, "Can I call you?" then stare at the screen until the courage disappears. You say, "No worries," when there are worries. You say, "All good," when nothing feels good. And because you are so convincing, people believe you. That is the cruel part. People may think you are okay because you have become very good at disappearing politely. They see the version of you that replies, laughs, works, listens, and helps everyone else. They do not see the version lying awake, wishing someone would ask one more time. And the most painful part is not that you stop asking. It is that you slowly teach people to love only the version of you that survives. Because when help has felt unsafe for long enough, you stop measuring love by who is there. You measure it by who does not make you feel ashamed for needing them. That is why safe people can still feel uncomfortable. Someone can be kind, and your body can still prepare for rejection. Someone can offer support, and your first instinct is still to protect them from your need. You may think, they have their own problems. I should not bother them. I can handle this. But sometimes "I can handle this" does not mean you are fine. Sometimes it means you've survived alone so many times that loneliness has started to feel responsible. This is where the twist begins. You may think asking for help will make you a burden, but never asking for help can turn your relationships into performances. People get close to the version of you that copes, not the version of you that needs comfort. They know your jokes, your calm voice, your advice, your "I'm fine." But they may not know the part of you that panics when a message is left unread, feels embarrassed for needing reassurance, or wants to be held without explaining every wound first. So you can be loved and still feel unseen, not because their love is fake, but because the places where you most need love are the places you have learned to hide. And maybe that is why it hurts when no one notices. Because part of you wants to be found without having to ask. Part of you wants someone to hear the pause after "I'm fine." Part of you wants someone to say, "No, really, what is going on?" Part of you wants proof that your pain matters even when it is not presented perfectly. But here is the hard truth. People who love you cannot always read the silence you survived inside. They may care deeply and still not see the weight you carry. Not because you are unimportant, but because you have become skilled at looking lighter than you feel. So the healing is not to blame yourself for hiding, and it is not to force yourself to open up to everyone. The healing starts much smaller. It starts with one safe person, one small sentence, one low-risk moment. But choose carefully. Not everyone deserves access to the first honest version of you. Not, "Here is everything that ever hurt me." Maybe just, "I'm having a hard day, and I do not want to pretend right now." Maybe, "Can you sit with me for a minute?" Maybe, "I do not need advice. I just need someone to listen." Maybe, "I know I usually say I'm fine, but today I'm not." These sentences may feel too exposed at first. You may want to take them back. You may feel guilty after sending them. You may worry it was awkward. That does not mean you did something wrong. It may mean your nervous system is learning a new kind of safety. When you've spent years needing nothing, care can feel like debt. Kindness can feel suspicious. Support can feel like a test you are about to fail. So, go slowly. You do not have to become someone who asks easily overnight. You only have to stop abandoning yourself every time you need comfort. The next time someone safe asks, "Do you need anything?" Pause before the automatic no. Let the old answer wait. Then ask yourself, what would I say if I believed my need was not a burden? Maybe the answer is tiny. Can you stay? Can you listen? Can you help me with this one thing? That is enough, because healing is not learning to need everyone. Healing is learning that needing one safe person does not make you weak. You can still be capable and need support. You can still be independent and want comfort. You can still be strong and tired. And the right people will not love you less when you are honest. They may finally get to love the part of you that has been carrying everything alone. You are not too much for needing care. You were taught to make your pain small enough that nobody had to stop and notice it. Quiet pain is still pain, and it deserves room. If this made you feel seen, stay with Empty But Aware. Subscribe for more soft psychology stories for people who look fine outside, but carry too much inside.